Hello, this is Max Drake. I just want to talk to you about Bookmarklets, Firefox, also a hotkey, and maybe MaxLauncher too. One of the things was when I got a Stream Deck, I actually found that I couldn't fire up Bookmarklets from it. So that was something that I sort of wanted to investigate and haven't really done much about. I suddenly started to do a little bit of research because I quite like using the MaxLauncher for a whole load of things now, because it's basically a Screen Deck sort of a thing. So it's handy to actually just come on here, and with something like this I can actually just come on, I can go onto here and go Z and just close a tab out quite easily, and that's quite handy. And I'm suddenly saying, oh dear, I wanted that, I can type X and it brings back that tab then again. So I've got some little bookmarklets that I actually find really useful to use, but because they're not in with the rest of the stuff I use, unless I remember to use them, they're sort of off to the side. Since I'm sort of getting into this script keyboard here, I suddenly thought what I'd really like is something on here. So I've got one here called Q. Now it's saying what keyword do I want to activate, and I'm going to type in hi and I'm going to go OK, and it says what script do I want to search for? So I'm going to just go AutoHotkey and I'm going to go enter. And what it does is it highlights everything on the page through there. So what's actually happening through there? Well, JavaScript, if I just hover over there, you'll see that that event changes. So what that's doing is a bit of a JavaScript. It says if the mouse hovers over, so if the XY coordinates are in this area, change the background of that from color red to color thing. So it's actually doing an action. So it's saying if there's the mouse hovers there, do that. So this is just writing a bit of JavaScript. So it's just highlighting text on top of the thing. So if I just refresh that, it will come back, it will reload that page completely, and that just disappears. So it's applying something after it's downloaded that page. So when it's actually downloading a page into your browser, it's downloading HTML code, it's downloading CSS to make it all pretty and all set up and justified in different text and different formats and fonts, etc., etc. And then it's doing any actions. If you've got a button to do things, like if I click on this, this will take me to another web page or something like that. So all of those actions are done in JavaScript. So when it downloads the things, it sets up the page, and you've got the page sitting down here doing all the things, and it's all set out. And what a bookmarklet does is it goes and applies another action over the top. So it just writes a bit of JavaScript on there. And if we just look at that extra bit of Java thing, what it actually is just a whole JavaScript, but it's all written on one line. So it's like a Javalet. So it's a little snippet of script that it actually does. So you can't have any breaks in it. So when I started to do this, I've just been doing some stuff of programmatically sending hotkeys, and that's taken me weeks. So when I started to look at bookmarklets, I suddenly thought this is going to be painful. And in fact, it was dead easy in Firefox. Now, the reason why it's dead easy in Firefox is because of a couple of things. So this happens in all of them. But if I go Ctrl L, that takes me to the address bar. So straight away, I can get to the address bar. Now, when I've actually got a page open and it's doing something through there, this is my bookmarklet here, and it's just called Hi for highlight. And you can see if I hover over another bookmarklet, this one here is saying the name is stuff in the little tooltip there, and it's saying which web page that it's actually going to. Now, if I right click on that particular thing and go and edit the bookmarklet, inside the bookmark, it says what name do you want to call your bookmark? Where do you want to go? In other words, what's your URL? And it has in Firefox a thing called a keyword. Now, what's a keyword? Well, a keyword says if I type that keyword in the taskbar and press enter, it will write that into the address bar and then activate it. So let's just try that. Let's just go to a new tab there and type S, enter. And so it then writes the URL into that thing and goes there. So that's really handy. Well, we can do that with a bookmarklet as well. So when I'm in that there, I've got the actual page open there. I'm just going to type HI on top of it all and go enter. Now it's going to say what's the search phrase, and we're going to type the and then go tab enter, and it's going to then highlight all the instances of that. Now to refresh the page, I just hit the refresh page button and off it comes. So there's two features inside there. One is being able to get to the address bar dead quickly, and the other one is being able to have keywords that I can actually action with those. So it doesn't matter if my bookmark or bookmarklet or anything is in a subfolder. I just read one article and they actually had to have the bookmarklets along here. I think it was there was a Firefox add-in that it didn't actually meet my needs as far as that goes. But this is the way that it actually works perfectly. So that means I can actually now come into here, and I've got one called Q. And what it says is that what is the keyword that you want to activate, or what is the bookmark that you actually want to activate. So I can actually just type HI into there, enter, and then I can search the phrase that I want. We're going to type the first time around and go OK. And then I'm actually going to rerun that now again. And then I'm going to go Q. And I'm not going to refresh it. I'm going to type officials and go OK. Oops. Oh, sorry. So I typed that in the wrong place, didn't I? Where was I? Oh no, I think I've just gone and blown that one completely there. I need to go back and refresh it. So I've got that still there. So now, if I go Control Tab again, and I type the Q in there, it comes back. So I want to go high again, and now in here I want to write and go OK. It then highlights officials too. So you can actually, if you're doing an article or something and you're drilling down and you're actually just trying to find some keywords or something like that, like I want something which is to do with weather in Wellington or this and that and the other, and it's a big article that's talking about the whole country, then I can start drilling down and adding extra layers to actually highlight so that I can see where the high density of the texts are, so that I can find the bits that I actually need. So, and again, just get rid of it and just refresh the page and off it all disappears again. So the JavaScript that you're applying over it through a bookmarklet is sort of, you're doing it on top of what's there. So it's downloaded it from the server. This page has come from the server. It's written all of the code in its little place of where you can see here. It's written all of the code through there. And then it's going through and we're running this bit of Javalet over the top of all of this stuff here. Now, when we just refresh, it just pulls it back from the server and then just refreshes the page back to its original again. So it's that easy. So let's just look at the script of what's actually happening. So what we're doing first of all is we're activating Firefox. The next thing that we're doing is we're sending Ctrl L up there to focus us on the actual address bar. Then we're actually just putting an input box that's popping up, and we're putting a query on what bookmarklet, or we're saying bookmarklet search is the title. And what keyword to activate. Keyword bookmark. I can actually be that, and then if I space that, it'll thereby to activate. So I've got that one there, and then whatever it returns, it then sends to the query, and then that sends it to the address bar, and then types enter. And then it activates that bookmarklet. So there's very simple little bit of code, really. Initially, I actually just had HI in there, but what I've decided to do, this is a bit more generic, and what I'll do is I'll compile this so that anybody can use it on their computer. So if you're using a program like this, and if I just type Q now, it's not going to work because I'm in the wrong program. But if I come into here, it's saying what's the keyword that I actually want to do, and then I'm going to type the I, and then it's going to come through, and I'm just going to cancel out of that. Now that's one bookmarklet that I can got. I've got a few other ones. I've got one that will send an email of the address to me, which I find really useful. So that's one that I'm using on another one. Another one is a DuckDuckGo search. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to drag it up onto the up into here, And so I've got this one, and I'm just going to recall it, rename it, edit the bookmarklet, and I'm just going to call it DDG, and the keyword I'm going to give it is D. So I'm just taking it off. This one here is actually one that's actually on somebody else's server, and they just send me this list through here, and I can just use the same one on lots of different, on all of my different computers. So it's got the same one through here, but I can drag them up onto here at this point in time. Now if I actually just use that Control Tab Q again, and I think if I do D, oh sorry, I'm just going to cancel out of that. If I actually go official, damn, it's highlighted too much, and this is a problem. This is the thing with actually having the front page of something. Let me just go onto something where it's programmatically. We'll just highlight a bit of text there and just go Control Tab and then just do the Q and then type D. Okay. And it's gone and done a DuckDuckGo lookup onto me about buttons. So that's another one that I've got in my marklets there. So where do you get bookmarklets? If you actually just type in bookmarklets and go search, it'll give you a whole load of sites where you can find them, and there's 100+ useful ones that you might find. And if you find the one that you want, let's just say those are all social bookmarklets, not doing anything to me. There's a readability one, download and print. Let's just say I want to shorten a URL. You just drag it into your taskbar and set it up there, and then it does. So all I need to do at this point in time, I can leave all of that. I can actually go and put that in a folder somewhere, and I've actually got a JavaScript folder with a whole load of them in, and that's just dropped to the bottom. And if we just go into there and we just edit that bookmark, and we're just going to go SU, so it's going to shorten the URL. And now if I just go and do that one with the query, and I'm going to type SU and go OK, it should go and create shorten the link for me. So it's got me ready to actually do that. Now I'm not too sure whether I should have selected the link before doing it or whatever. I could, but that's how the bookmarklet works. But that's where you just get them, you load them up to there, test them out. If they work for you, they work for you. Now the nice thing with that is that was right down at the bottom of a folder somewhere, and it still found it, as long as I know what those shortcut keys are. So if they're ones that I want to remember, like I've just actually made the pop-up so that you could do it. Before, as I said, on the script that I actually had initially, is that I didn't actually have the send query. I just had it as sending hi, and I didn't bother with the input box. So if I just redo that one there, sorry, I better just put that I back into the input box. If I just save that, and if I just go back and run that one there now, sorry, and it's got to come back out of there again. It's coming through, and I'm just going to go bookmark there, enter. It's going to highlight every time there's a thing called bookmarklet, which is quite a lot on that particular page. So I can then have, for ones which I use all the time, I can actually have them specifically targeting a specific bookmarklet that I've actually just set up, or else I can do a more generic one. So I can actually just copy that, whoops, cancel. I can come into here, highlight that, go copy, and go paste. So I've got exactly the same one through there. I can come into here, and I can go, no, actually don't. I'm going to bookmarklets, and I go copy, and I go V, and I can go that call copy, rename, bookmarklet hi, and that's going to be my highlight one. So the other one, I can go back and make it more generic. So it just has the input one, and all I do is I convert that back to query through there. And so this is a more generalized one. So this one, as I said, I will compile. You've got to go through a couple of more keystrokes to actually make it happen with that one. That's why it's not as attractive to me. sorry, that one there, we're just going to edit that one, and we're going to go to browse for the file, and we're just going to go to the bookmarklets, and we're going to make that the more specific one. So we can actually just rename that edit gen bookmark, space that, come back and go L, because otherwise it triggers off the text expander. So now I've got that one there. I can just come back into there. So I've got to get out of here because I've blocked that onto the full screen, and I can come into the weather. I can go and do the specific one on there and just type morning or sunrise, sunset. When does sunset? And go okay, and it finds that for me. Oh, sorry. I thought I'd got them queued. Oh, running both programs the same. Just go back and have a look at that. Bookmarklets, that, save. Now when I come back into that one, W. Oh no, that's going straight into the search phrase, so it's not doing the other step on top of it. Yeah, so that's right. So we'll say afternoon, and then it's found that for me. So what that's been able to do is I've been able to move the bookmarklets into the interface which I'm using to activate a lot of the programs, closing, using, manipulating, moving between things, etc., etc., etc. So that brings them into a place where they're useful. Now, I hadn't researched that with the Stream Deck, but now I've actually got these buttons. I can actually just add them straight to the Stream Deck. But I do find, again, the two things that are happening in here, well, not the Ctrl L, I think, happens in any program. There'll be a hotkey to get you up to the address bar because that's always an important place to be. But the Firefox has the thing of having the keyword, and the keyword allows you to actually do that. Because the other thing is, let's just say what you can do is you can actually say, if there's a letter there, so if you type I, then go into here, and this is where a lot of people were complaining when they actually tried doing send, and they tried sending the whole of the JavaScript into here, so it started trying the whole JavaScript all the way through there. They actually found that that didn't work at all. And that they were talking about all the difficulties with the fact that it was trying to run this whole stream of text, and also that it was taking a very, very long time to actually type all of the letters. If it actually took it up to memory and type it, it just wasn't working a lot. So, and they were talking in Chrome, but then somebody actually just mentioned in Firefox that you don't have those issues. You just type hi. Or, sorry, inside here we just type hi. And off it comes, or calculate. Oh, again, you see, here's another one that is through there. Let's just go into there, and yeah, there's another one there that just suddenly says everything on there turned to lowercase, boom, like that. If I refresh that, so I go onto this one here, or there's too many uppercases through there. So a lot of the Javalets I actually find are quite fun. There's some quite useful things to do. There's one that actually do sort tables and things, and there's one, there's good ones for translate, there's good ones for finding things on maps, there's good ones for going to DuckDuckGo and doing a search through there, or Wiki, or stuff like that. One that... there's even one which actually does an asteroids and things, so it's good. There's one called iCol somewhere. There we are. And there's one which inverts the colours. So if you've got something which is too dark or too light or something like that, you can just invert the colour. So as I said, there's some of the things which are quite handy. And again, you see, that's just as you look at it and you go back, and if you just refresh that page, it will just come back there as it was before. So I hope that's of interest to you. As I said, I'll compile that into an exe file just so that anybody who's not it's not a programmer, they can use that. And I'll leave the script so you don't actually have to download AutoHotkey to actually use that one. So if you found that interesting, please give a thumbs up. If not, Op Panyaha, you have a good day. Thank you very much for watching.